This is the G Podcast with your host, Tommy B.
News team, assemble!
It's time for the Week in News with Syracuse Mike.
Now it's 3 dead. CENTCOM confirms 3 U.S. service members' deaths linked to Iranian attacks in Jordan and Iraq. This news comes as the conflict between the U.S. and Iran continues to intensify. The Pentagon says another American service member was killed in northern Iraq during the controlled detonation of a downed Iranian drone. Officials also discovered unidentified remains in Jordan after a separate Iranian attack. News strikes were reported Sunday in Kuwait, Jordan, and Bahrain as tensions across the Middle East rise. A federal judge has temporarily blocked the proposed $81 billion merger between Paramount and Warner Brothers Discovery for at least 2 weeks. 12 states, led by California, argue the deal would reduce competition in Hollywood and limit choices for moviegoers and cable customers. This will give the court time to review the case. Inconclusive is the final word on a private autopsy on Nolan Wells. He's the 18-year-old who was found dead on a Mississippi coastal island 2 days after a 4th of July boating trip. His death remains under investigation. The independent autopsy of the teenager found his cause and manner of death to be undetermined. Attorney Ben Crump says the pathologist could not rule out foul play and noted red discoloration on the back of Wells's head. A Madison, Wisconsin police officer fatally shot a man Wednesday after authorities say he pulled a fixed-blade knife during a struggle with officers. Police had responded to reports of someone checking vehicle doors before confronting the man about 35 minutes later. The police chief says an officer was cut by the knife, adding a stun gun was ineffective before that injured officer then opened fire. Videos of the shooting were captured by bystanders and were circulated online. Officers were not wearing body cameras. The city's mayor is calling for full transparency and accountability. A guilty plea Friday in Georgia's Appalachia High School mass shooting. 16-year-old Colt Gray admitted guilt on all 55 counts in the September 2024 attack. Victims' families urged the judge to impose life without parole. Sentencing is now up to the Barrow County judge. And breaking news, LeBron James has decided to sign with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Appreciate it, Syracuse Mike, and y'all welcome to episode 321 of This is the G Podcast. Man, what's going on? Let me give us some applause up in here. My man, Hitman Howie, the Hitman is in the building. I got to give him his applause, man. Thanks for jumping on this week, man.
Hey, I appreciate the invitation like always, man. Good to see you. I hadn't seen you in a little while.
Well, here's the deal, and I'm going to let people in on something, man. We have really kind of pulled back a little bit on politics, and I'll tell you, because it's how do you say it? It's repetitive.
Yeah, that's true.
With this administration, it's the same thing. Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, they're lying about stuff. I mean, well, let me stop going in early, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The other thing is, man, it's so tense. Not that I care, because I've been used to the N-word for a long time, you know what I'm saying? High school. But sometimes, and I don't get a lot of it, but I do get my share in the comments, because it's a tense environment. But here's the deal. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. Let me just say that, because I love getting people banned, so it's cool. I'm like, yeah, go ahead.
So you're saying people send you stuff like that?
Yeah, because they don't agree. They can't.
Okay.
People can't argue with you intelligently anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially MAGA. MAGA can't. They can't bring the facts. They can only because it's a cult.
And the facts go against them.
Right. So when you present the facts, they just want to get mad and say something. Wow. And then I just hit the report and we good to go.
The report, get them off. That's funny. I say that's funny. That happened to my brother one time, and he's not even like that. It's just he disagreed with some person, and they got him banned for like 6 weeks or whatever the time period.
Yeah, but I don't do it just because I don't agree with you.
Right, I get you.
It's about you cross the line, dude.
Yeah, those type of words shouldn't be said. I agree.
It's like watching the TikTok videos where the people say it in the restaurant and get knocked out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like Eddie Murphy in life. Consequences and repercussions. That's all I got to say.
You want your cornbread?
There gonna be consequences and repercussions.
That's right.
Hey, man, but thanks for jumping on, man. This week we want to talk about a couple of things, and we're not going to go too deep, but I think these are important things to talk about. Boycotts, of course, toast in Linux. We're going to talk about that. Mm-hmm. By the way, I know this podcast goes out to the world. Okay, but I want y'all to think about Georgia and Atlanta, the regions we're talking about, as significant parts of the world. You know, there's a lot of international stuff that comes through here. Hell, we just had the World Cup.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so we're talking about toast at Linux. You go out a lot, so I definitely want your insight on the restaurant stuff.
Yes.
Stockbridge mayor is deep. We're going to get to that. And also the Nolan Wells autopsy. But first, man, I want to jump into this situation with Iran. Okay. So 145 days, Hitman.
Right.
And when this thing first started, what did we hear from Mr. Orange, Cheeto Jesus? What did we hear?
Yeah, so it'll be over in a few days, something to that effect. We're just going to go over there and bum them real hard, and it'll be over. That's it. And it started back in February.
Right. That was back in February. Mm-hmm. So we're talking 145 plus days.
Exactly.
This has impacted the global energy markets.
Yes. Which
is impacting our grocery prices and, hell, you know, how much we pay at the pump.
Exactly.
So I'm going to start with that. And I'll give you, go ahead and jump into it. Give me your thoughts.
Well, I'm always on our economy and how it impacts our economy. Direct hit on our economy at the gas station, at the Home Depot because of the things that come from overseas, and direct impact on our food prices. And those are the things, the staples, the things that we talk about when we sit around the table each day or each evening for dinner. Those things are important to each family. And it's not rich or poor. Rich people their impact, they just have more money, they can do better.
Right.
But their gas has gone up, just like my gas has gone up, just like your gas has gone up. And it's unnecessary. That's my issue. It is unnecessary for these things to be taking place and impacting our economy. And this is a long-term effect. You don't turn the economy around in a day or a week or a month.
Right.
This is going to take a year or two or three to get out of this. Mm-hmm. And one thing I read the other day is, even though we are less dependent on oil remember we had the oil issues if you're old enough in the 1970s, and it really crippled us.
Oh yeah.
We're less dependent on it now, but it's still a huge impact on our economy.
Yeah. My other question is just I don't want to say the fatigue, but it really, I think it's starting to impact just America's day to day.
Yes.
When you hear it on the news every day, you could turn the news off. Mm-hmm. But when you start to see, the other thing is we're starting to see the bodies come back.
That's true.
And, we just had some significant hits.
Right.
Where, some servicemen, women were killed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that may shorten what we may have left in this war? The fatigue?
Well, I don't know. We are getting to the point when they talk about fatigue. I agree with you. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if it's going to stop the guy who's starting the war or who's driving the war. Yeah. I think he has some ancillary goals in place where he can make money on the stock market and things like that. But he's haven't been able to achieve his goals. And I think it'll go down as another loss or another L for him. And he's trying to prevent that. So, these young kids over there that's getting hit and these bodies are coming back, I don't think it phases him at all, but he's the one who's driving it.
Yeah, we can't compare it to Vietnam because the numbers aren't there yet. And, I know the numbers in terms of casualties. They're not going to get to the level of Vietnam because of the technology.
Right.
Drone technology and some other things that are used. But it's enough.
Right.
And I'm in agreement with you. I think, this administration is basically just trying to put itself in a position where they can move out of this without taking an L.
Right.
But I think that at this point, it's inevitable.
Yes. It's a no-win. I don't see how they can win. Yeah, I don't see how they can win he's talking about going over there and bombing their uranium manufacturers directly. But I think those things are way underground. So we're going to have to be dropping, some major bombs and impacting them. And I don't think their people is going to turn on their leadership. Sometimes we hope that we can choke them to death with our embargoes and that the people of the country will turn on their leadership. I don't think that's going to happen. I think those people, they dug in and they'll make do,
Yeah, I agree. Now, I want to, before we leave Iran, I want to kind of frame, we've already framed the situation nationally. We're in Georgia. And you mentioned to me that if we look at the gubernatorial race, okay, as a matter of fact, for those who aren't in Georgia this week, the president came in and made what was supposed to be a policy pitch. It turned into, what do you call it, a campaign rally.
Exactly.
With Rick Jackson. And you mentioned to me that Rick Jackson and Keisha Lance Bottoms are currently tied. And I know Ossoff and his opponent, Mike Collins, Ossoff's in the lead. There's a tie for the governor's race. Now, I know you mentioned that may be a good thing, and I want to hear why you think that. I don't think it's a good thing that she's tied because of everything we just talked about. And because what it says to me is the Republicans are giving this president a pass from state to state. And I had hoped that all the misery for some that we're seeing and dealing with gas prices, in some cases, in most cases, and what we're dealing with just as consumers when we go into stores would have impacted the local races. We're tied.
Right.
Why do you think that's a good thing with Keisha Lance Bottoms and Rick Jackson?
Well, let's think about it. When was the last time the state of Georgia had a Democratic governor? 1980s or Barnes, I think, was in the 80s.
Oh yeah,
maybe
it's been
90s.
a while. It's been a while.
And so I think if Keisha Lance Bottoms at this point in the race is tied or within the margin of within the margin, so that's 3%, either 3 up, 3 down within the margin. I think that's good because this Georgia is so red when it comes to governor's race. Now, when it comes to Ossoff
the Senate
and Senate, I think it's a little bit different, a little bit more crossover there. But when it comes to governors, man, we've been Republican governor, what, last 6 cycles maybe?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
So that's why I think it's even. But Keisha got to get out. I don't know if Keisha's getting out or not. That may be a different conversation.
I'll say this, and I saw an article and I saw a news article and I also saw some coverage. She's going into the rural areas.
Okay, is that where she's heading?
Oh
okay.
yeah. She knows that in terms of the metro.
Right.
She's not going to have a significant problem. So I do think that their campaign understands they got to be rural, just like, Stacey Abrams understood it.
Right.
But I do think her, and I hope it's not for the wrong reasons, but her footprint's larger than Stacey's was in terms of her, likability, but her familiarity is greater. But I do want to say this, and I've already said it. I'm voting for Keisha. I'm not going to I'm not going to come on here and criticize Keisha because I do not want Rick Jackson, who's embraced the whole Trump thing.
Exactly.
Who played in the primary on the Republican side. He played MAGA. Now he's switched the strategy of where he wants, he wants people to feel, it's almost like he wants the sympathy of the people around his background and his upbringing. Well, I built myself from nothing. I was a foster kid, and he goes into this list of scams and all these things he did to become who he is and, and where he is right now, where he is today. Right. And, let me tell you, as a foster kid, as somebody who, was lived in foster care for years, I didn't have to go out and scam.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, what are you saying? And I think it's important that people understand and they push back on that because, I'm not going to, look, nobody if you're in the foster care system, you grew up in it, you were adopted, you went through all that, you don't want sympathy. You don't mind telling people, hey, I was there.
Right.
And just you do it to encourage the kids who may be in foster care or have gone through that, to encourage them to aim high.
Exactly.
Because it's possible.
The possibility, right.
But I think he's this thing to play on the sympathy because now he's a billionaire. But he mentions, I kind of scammed my way.
Yeah. Well,
because
probably
as a black man,
right,
I wouldn't have been able to pull off the scams that he did.
Yeah. And I think he's still scamming the state and the federal government for contracts. So that's of course a different
allegedly. But
you know what? I saw something interesting that you remember Iran was doing those Lego type videos. Yeah. I saw one with him, and the guy was saying that, Jackson say, I grew up in Techwood homes. When he grew up in Techwood homes, it was predominantly white.
Yeah.
And it was very few, and it was set aside for whites who were poor. And it was nothing like the Techwood homes you would think of in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and that they tore down most recently over near Georgia Tech. So it's a whole different game.
Let me say this to you, man.
Mm-hmm.
I attended elementary school the first 3 years in a place called Grady Homes.
Right.
If you're from Atlanta, I'm a Grady baby. Okay.
Right.
If you're from Atlanta and you remember Grady Homes back in the day, or what it became, Grady Homes, man, was a great place for people.
Right.
You had some of the best people, people who were hard at the time, hard on their luck.
Right.
Falling on their luck. Okay. So I get that from his standpoint, because what Techwood Homes became, what all the projects eventually became, especially when you head into the crack era, man, it became The Wire.
Right.
Am I right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't, all the projects were never that way from the start.
Right.
But they eventually became The Wire.
Yeah. But I think...
And I say The Wire, you know what I mean.
But I get it. But you have to put some context around it when he starts to talk about it. Because, for lack of a better term, he is such a snake in a sense that he's trying to get this sympathy, to your point, that I grew up in this really rough area when it really wasn't.
It wasn't.
It wasn't rough like that.
No, right. Everybody knew each other.
Exactly.
In a lot of cases, you had the entire families. You had the men living there with the women, with their wives.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't as bad.
Right.
As The Wire.
Right.
Omar coming. You know what I'm saying? I bet he won't say it. But and I think to a certain extent, and I'll leave it at this, I just don't want black people to fall for the okie doke.
Exactly.
Because somebody like him would say that as an appeal to blacks. Well, I can appeal to the black people because I'm just like them. No, dude.
No way.
I have black friends who came up with 3-4 doctors in the household. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So everybody didn't come up that way. If you feel like you're going to appeal to black people because you say you're from the projects. No, you can stop that right now.
Exactly.
So I just don't want people to fall for the okie doke. I want you to keep that in mind. I appreciate you saying that and bringing that up about Techwood. Yeah, dude, stop. No.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes they think African Americans are monolithic. We're different.
No, dude.
We vote different. We live different. We have people in every category when it comes to socioeconomics. So, man, come on. Don't just paint us all with the same brush.
Just look at Howard. Look at the background.
Oh, yeah, right.
I'm messing with you, man.
Yeah,
Hey, is that your mansion, Howie?
Yeah, let's say it is, right?
All right, Hitman. Let's go to the second thing, man. I do want to talk to you. You eat out a lot. You could give perspective to this story. Why is the toast in hot water, man?
Let me tell you, first of all, I've been to the Toast 3 times.
Okay.
If you haven't been, go. When people come from out of town and they say they want to go to a restaurant, I say African-American restaurant, I give them a couple 3, and Toast is one of them that I like.
Okay.
So the food is good. The cook, who's part owner, Virgil, right on. It's in hot water because, again, a snakish type person showed up at the Toast, took a picture with the owner, and it posted it to his website, his campaign website, and this is Jackson, and made the statement that, to the effect that Keisha is not protecting small businesses like the Toast on Linux. And I'm here to help small businesses. And he's appealing to African Americans, in my opinion, because African Americans largely support African American restaurants or businesses. The fallout is the internet went crazy, and people were basically trying to cancel the owner and the restaurant Toast on Linux.
Because you're starting to see and hear boycott.
Exactly.
Okay.
So they're trying to cancel them, which I'm not in agreement with it, but I'm not telling anybody where to spend their money either. But when African Americans have to become more savvy when it comes to politics in today's environment, because people will use your business or your status or your connections in a way that you were not intended for them to happen. And I say that the owner of the restaurant always take pictures with celebrities when they come in. And often when you go into restaurants, you see pictures of celebrities with the owner of the restaurant.
Yeah.
Rick Jackson thought it would be cool to post it on his political website and then say, I'm protecting businesses like this. In my opinion, in an attempt to win over African-American voters.
Yeah. Because he knows his opponent.
Right.
And he knows that Keisha Lance Bottoms is going to have a predominantly black voting base.
And female.
Yeah.
He didn't take a picture with the guy who's part owner, who's the cook. He took it with the black female who happens to be or look like the opponent he's running against.
Yeah. So currently, the Toast has basically denied any type of support.
Right.
Or being an ally.
Right.
Of the Jackson campaign to the extent that they're supporting it. Am I correct? Is that
That's
the case?
Exactly. And Jackson
do you recall the last thing? Is that where we are now? They've come out and rejected claims that they support Jackson. Yeah.
Right. The cook, the part owner who's the cook, he went out right away to say, in no way are we supporting this. This was just a picture that was taken.
Yeah.
There is no support at all. But that was, of course, after the internet had started to do its sung and dance about not showing up at the Toast on Linux. They have two locations. One is in what they call now West Midtown on the west side, which has changed a lot.
Okay.
And then one on Linux itself.
All right. Okay. So what would you say, Howie? What would you say would be the best strategy? What's your opinion? Get them out of this.
My opinion is...
Or can they get out of this?
I think they can. But just like Essence or Jet Magazine, it is going to be up to our community to get them out of this.
How do you say that?
We're going to have to support them.
Yeah.
Regardless to what it looked like, because I don't think, even though a picture's worth 1,000 words, I don't think it was what it appeared to be. And we're going to have to continue to support them, not only simply because they're black, but because they're good.
Okay.
Go and eat there, and the food is good. And that's why one thing I say about it, in that area, it's a ton of restaurants. Rick Jackson could have went anywhere. But in his snakish ability, he pinpointed where they were going to, and let's take a picture with this person. And I also heard today that an African-American mega supporter had called the restaurant in advance to let them know Jackson was coming. Allegedly. I'm not sure. This is hearsay. And if that's the case, I'm sure she would have come out and took the picture with him. But I think it was them coming there so they can take the picture and had a photo op, in my opinion.
Let me stop you there, man. Do you think black-owned businesses are held to a higher standard, an unfair standard, when it comes down? Because ultimately you got to get customers.
Right.
Do you think it's an unfair standard to deny a situation like that?
Well, in this case, I just think that she needs to be a little bit more savvy. If it was next year after the election and he came in and took the picture, I don't think it's a big deal. If he'd have won or lost, I don't think it would have been a big deal. But in this situation, I think their campaign pinpointed where to go and who to go after.
Yeah, I agree. And they do the same thing with churches. Exactly.
Exactly. As far as held to a different standard, I think sometimes we do hold our own people to a different standard. If it's a bad service at a restaurant for us, we don't support it anymore, but we can go to a different restaurant that's not African-American, get bad service, and we'll come back again. So yes to that question, sometimes we do.
Okay, good deal. Any last thoughts, man?
Well, in Yeah, in my opinion, I think Toast did the right thing. They've come out and said we no support. I think we should we as African Americans, and if you just want good food, black or white, it doesn't matter at this point. That restaurant is good. You should patronize it and continue to support it because they do a good job regardless.
Okay, good deal. This one, man, I'm here to tell you. And let me tell you, I'm next door to the city.
Uh-oh.
We're in the same county. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, I'm going to say that. The Stockbridge mayor, Jaden Williams, stripped of his powers. And if you don't know, 22-year-old Jaden Williams, Georgia's youngest governor, Clark AU graduate, is under investigation following a unanimous 5-0 vote by the Stockbridge City Council. The council suspended voting. They voted to suspend Williams, his city-issued credit card, his fuel card, his vehicle privileges, and restricted access to non-public areas of City Hall. So he can only be in areas that can be seen to the public. Right. And it follows allegations presented to the city attorney regarding spending and credit card usage. City officials deactivated his cards remotely after Williams missed the deadline to return city property. To his defense, they're talking about Williams has the denial is wrong, and noted that no criminal charges have been filed, and filed legal motions seeking an independent, transparent process. I want to stop there. And as we tape now, the mayor has made a statement with his attorney. He's fighting the charges. He's saying that the what was used, the card was used for entertainment that was based on his position as mayor. Now, I'm not putting it in his exact words, but it sounds like, I guess this would be something if you're attending something where you're a guest at an event and it's tagged. Let's say it was, and I'm just saying, let's say you're mayor of New Orleans or whatever, you got to go to the Essence Fest. Okay. Right. And you got to show up on stage at multiple places, blah, blah, blah. Right. So you're going to get tickets to the Essence Fest. You're going to get, you know what I'm saying? You're going to get the package. Yes. So I'm not sure what this is, but it seems like it may be something connected in that way.
Right.
What do you, I'm going to let you start this one, man. What are your thoughts when you first heard this story?
Well, I thought it was a little bit of an overreach by the city council.
Yeah.
When they talk about they want to be transparent, but they're not telling us they're not being transparent themselves. I think it's a little far reaching for them to say, let's not let this guy come into the building. If and don't give him any privileges that the people elected him to do.
Yeah.
So I'm a little concerned about their overreach. I just believe as we work this thing out, it's going to be something personal or behind the scenes that's going on for the young lion down there, 22-year-old mayor down in Stockbridge.
Yeah. And the other thing is, and there's some things we know that you and I have heard
right,
that I don't want to get into because I think it's a very sensitive issue. It's going to go national. The stories, it's already over the Atlanta. Stockbridge, if you don't know, it is part of the Henry County, Stockbridge, Georgia. It's part of Atlanta's metropolitan area, what we call the Metro Statistical Area, MSA.
Right.
But it's further enough away from Atlanta to where it really, it's not Atlanta. Okay.
Right.
With 55,000 people. Okay. Maybe. What I looked at immediately was, wow, this guy's 22 years old. Okay. You're taking away his cards, his access, and then you're saying it's non-disciplinary.
Right.
Okay. But you don't present immediately any charges. Nothing's transparent about the move.
Exactly.
This guy, he is elected by the people. He's a steward of the city of Stockbridge. They voted him in. The will of the people. So it looked to me like a kid. It looked to me like, hey, Johnny, my son, I'm looking at this charge for Magic City. Guess what? I'm turning your cards off and I'm taking the car.
Right.
You know, that's what it looked like to me. It's a kid. It's a grown up to a kid move. It's disrespectful.
I agree.
So for me, he's 22 years old. Okay, he's probably, when it comes down to a few of these city council people, they're twice, possibly almost 3 times his age.
Right.
So it's almost like they're looking at him like a kid and saying, "Hey, we're going to take your toys away."
Right. Which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because he was put there by the people. If a city councilman wanted to run for the mayor, they had every right to run to see if they could outpace him. And he's there. He's the person. Man, just respect that.
Yeah, and there are a couple of things I want to say. The city council, because I want to respect both parties by saying this on the podcast. They have what they call allowable administrative measures. So they can protect their assets. You know, the council argues it has fiscal responsibility to safeguard city funds and property while an independent investigator looks into the allegations of resource misuse. They also say that no prejudgment is in place. Because the resolution explicitly states it is not finding of wrongdoing, the city maintains it has not stripped him of actual office or violated his rights. Now they're saying that. Also, they say for operational integrity, it's restricting staff communication is framed as a routine measure to prevent potential interference with the ongoing probe. So that basically means, you know, it gives him, or by restricting his communication to staff, he can't plead to people to come to his side and help him beat whatever charges there are. Now, I mean, I heard him today, and he's with his attorney. I think I saw the NAACP there as well. So it seems like the people side of this is fighting this against the city. When I saw the NAACP, I said, I saw Briggs from the Gerald Briggs from the NAACP. He was their president. So on the other hand, you've got the mayor's position and the mayor. I'm sorry, y'all, for giving you the Nancy Grace version. I am not a lawyer, okay? But I got to make sure you understand. His position is unallowable constructive suspicion. You know, Williams and his legal team filed an emergency motion to block the restrictions, arguing that the council has overstepped its authority as part of the charter. Illegal pre-punishment. His filings argue that while the council has the right to investigate him, it cannot strip him of the authority or execute what they call a constructive suspension before the investigation finishes. Due process violations, which I saw that right away. Yeah. I'm like, how you gonna do this without due process?
But you're not being disciplined. Yeah.
Right, but you're not being disciplined. and you know, I'll skip that one because I think y'all get that. That's pretty clear. And then they have something what they call executive stifling. He maintains that blocking his initiatives and staff access stops him from performing his legally elected role as executive or chief executive officer of the city. So it's stifling his ability to be mayor. Keep in mind that the city, outside of some of the appearances and things that he does, the city has a city, what do you call a city manager?
City manager, right.
So to a certain extent, some of the duties that the mayor has, they're all symbolic. Okay, so I want to make sure if you're not in Stockbridge, you know that. And currently, it's in front of a judge, and they wanted the judge recused.
Who? The city council?
The city council, because the judge swore him in. Okay, but the judge said, and I would have said, what the fuck are y'all talking about? But she said, no, that doesn't make sense. I swear in elected officials every 4 years or every year. I mean, that's part of my job. That's what I do. They request me if they want, or but people come to me because I'm the one that does it. Stupid. So give me your thoughts, man. Off. Okay, I'm done with Nancy. I'm gonna pull back on the Nancy Grace for a minute.
Well, that's why I think the city council is I don't know. I think it's something personal. I think we'll find that out eventually because, ask the judge to recuse himself just because she swore him in taking away access to the building or to the building. You know, if you did something wrong, you got my credit card statement, man, you got all the information.
Yeah. It could have been internal.
It could have been internal. What's
could have been handled internally, yeah.
Exactly. Oh, internally would have been the best way to do it, especially because they still have the authority to do the things they're doing right now.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, what is this about? Let's talk about this. Don't do this anymore. Let's keep it going. But man, that's why I think it's, again, I hate to repeat myself, but it's going to be something personal. And to your point about those guys, some old dudes down there saying this young buck is in here. We're going to see if we can cripple him as much as possible.
Yeah. And I'm here to say this. I really feel, and this is opinion, only opinion, that he was asked to do something. He turned him down. It could have been a scheme or something going on. And he said, no, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
It's easy. The easiest way to trap somebody when they're on a P card or in a situation where they have P cards is to closely monitor and find ways, because in some cases you might do something on a P card. Never done it, but I'm just saying there's some people who might do it and try to put the money back or just come to them and say, hey, I did this. I just want you to be aware of it.
Right.
You know, and if you don't see eye to eye, then I'll go ahead and reimburse.
Right.
But there may be some situations like that. But I do think that it's a situation where they want him out because he either knows something or he won't help them do something.
Exactly right.
And I'm not going to, I'm not going to use the next door. I'm not going to use the next door speculation, but you know, I think ultimately what I heard, and this is allegedly, that they were asking him not to investigate or do an audit of the finances over multiple years. That's one thing. And also that this may be a situation where the police department asked him to do something. I don't know what it was, and I'm not saying that's the case, okay, allegedly. But you're starting to hear things where it sounds like you won't go along with the system, you won't go along with the plan.
Exactly.
And if that comes out, then I think the city of Stockbridge is going to have some major issues, because not only are they going to have to deal with their, you know, constituents, they're going to have to deal with the state of Georgia.
Exactly.
Because
you don't want to bring the state in.
But I do think eventually the state's going to have to step in.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to talk about my distrust for politicians and
exactly.
And systems,
that's what I'm saying. You don't want to hang your dirty laundry. Yeah, you don't want to hang your dirty laundry out. But I tell anybody, if you're running for a political office, if you're going to become a mayor of any city, if you get voted in, that's the first thing you do is run an audit, draw a line in the sand, say, hey, I started this time. Yeah. All the stuff back here, I don't know anything about. Anything moving forward, that's on me. Yeah. And that's what you have to do.
Yeah. So I don't know, you know, in a lot of cases, I don't know, because I do believe this young man has a mentor. He had to have it before he ran or during this campaign. And, you know, whoever his mentor is needs to really step up now and get him through this.
That's and guide him through it. I agree.
All right, man, let's move on to the next thing, and then we'll have one more thing and we'll wrap up. Nolan Wells, the NAACP, the autopsy. Have you seen the NAACP autopsy results with Ben Crump?
I read through them. Yes, I have read through them.
So give me your thoughts, and I'll wait, because I don't want to taint this conversation with what I have to say.
It's interesting, but I am also, as I've read through them and then talked to other people that are more knowledgeable about the process when it comes to autopsies, I'm getting a little bit better understanding. So, from Ben Crump's position and the NAACP and the parents' position, is the body was sent to Washington, D.C. For a second autopsy.
Right.
But when they received an expert, right. And this guy is nationally known. I can't think of his name right now, but he's a national known guy.
His name is Dr. Mitchell.
Mitchell, right.
Roger Mitchell.
Right. Yeah. I think I've seen him on some of those television shows and autopsy type shows. But that being said, what he found was blood or stain on the back of his head. His throat, parts of his throat did not come along with the body, and the body was in a really decomposed state. So those are the three things. One, I understand if you are laid down on a hard surface, if a body is laid on a hard surface, the blood pooling in the back is normal. This is I heard that on the TMZ recording. Okay. So so it didn't seem like blunt force trauma. It's just like blood pooled to the back.
Okay.
Also,
but that's if you're laying on your back, right?
If you're laying on a hard surface like an autopsy board.
Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then they said as far as parts of the body being missing, that's normal because the first person who's doing the autopsy has not concluded or still needs to look at that part of the body to make a conclusion on it. So that's also, and then the decomposing is just part of the span of when the body took place and all that kind of stuff. It also said, the second autopsy also said the body was in water. So it didn't say that it had water in his lungs or not, which is very important because water in the lungs mean you drown. Mm-hmm. Water not in the lungs mean you were killed before and then put in the water.
Mm-hmm. You weren't breathing.
So, yeah, you're right. So that's very important too. So to that end, I think we're not as close as we want to be about finding out what happened based on the autopsies.
Yeah. You know, the thing that concerned me, because I watched the NAACP, mm-hmm. The rollout when Ben Crump, the president of the NAACP, at their convention in Chicago.
Okay.
They did it this Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. Central. Mm-hmm. And I look, let me first give credit to Crump mm-hmm. and Sharpton for taking this on at the request of the family.
Right.
Much respect.
Yes.
For doing that. But I have to say the big error is Crump attempting to explain the autopsy. Mm-hmm. Big mistake. Mm-hmm. Because, okay, first of all, how can I say this and be nice in this scenario? Crump ain't the guy you want explaining an autopsy, man. He's just not that guy, okay? Right. It would have been better, even when it comes down, if you watch other shows, they bring in the expert and they let mm-hmm. the expert roll it out. So right. my question is, if Colin Kaepernick paid for the autopsy, why not bring Dr. Mitchell in as the expert and have right. Dr. Mitchell on this national stage with all these people watching mm-hmm. summarize the result?
Right.
Because all you had was Crump on stage with a big printout, a huge printout of the memo from Dr. Mitchell and him just kind of reading it.
Right.
No. Mm-mm. You bring Dr. Mitchell and you say, hey, talk to the crowd like you're talking to a 10-year-old.
Exactly.
Because
it brought a lot of credibility.
Because after it was over, mm-hmm. the first question that came from the press at a press conference is the guy, I forgot which TV station in Chicago, was, could you please summarize what you just said? Because, look, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
I ain't got it. I don't have to explain that part of it.
Right.
But I'm just saying, this is critical, man.
Yeah.
This is critical to race relations right now, and not just in the state of Mississippi, but nation. We already got problems.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, but this exacerbates the problem. Mm-hmm. I do think the fact that Nancy Grace got involved, not as the quote unquote expert or, you know, the white voice of this, but Nancy has credibility.
Yes.
You know, going back to Tot Mom, you know what I'm saying? She's done all this, you know, mm-hmm. Casey Anthony?
Casey Anthony, yes.
So what I'm saying is, when she comes out and says, you know, I smell a rat, or she didn't say that exactly, but basically that's what she was saying. Something's wrong with this.
Right.
You know, it gives credibility maybe to, you know, a lot of white women watch her, a lot of white folks watch her and they believe in it. It makes it look larger, the scale of it. Yeah. Not that I diminish what Crump's doing or what Sharpton's doing and what the family's doing, but it does take it to another level because this lady was on CNN.
Right.
Okay, that's what she does. She knows how to, I'm not saying sensationalize, but she knows how to bring attention to causes that a lot of people will sweep under the rug.
Right.
So I just wish, after all this, I'm hoping that he brings the experts out to explain and summarize I understand he may want to be out front. I get it because his name is on it. But ultimately, you got to have the experts for credibility.
Exactly. I agree.
You're not an expert. Make it easy, too, because they know how to explain this to the 10-year-old. So I'll leave it at that. Any thoughts before we move?
Well, some things I appreciate when we talked about it. Colin Kaepernick, $100,000 between Sharpton and the movie director
Spike Lee.
Yeah. So I appreciate that.
I'm sorry. Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry.
I give props to Tyler Perry.
Right.
And
I appreciate them. And it is going to be so important to keep this in front of people because a week or two down the road, man, it may get pushed onto the back burner and we'll never find out what happened.
Yeah, I agree. Any more thoughts?
That's it, man. I appreciate it.
Let's wrap it, man. I'm going to say this. LeBron James, okay. He is, I know by now everybody knows he's going to Philly. And I said I was sick of him, but let me tell you why. Because I felt at the time, and I still feel this way, when you have someone with that type of history, significant history, one of the greatest, it sucks the oxygen out of the room regardless if you know or if you wanted to or not.
Right.
And as long as he held it out, there were some important issues that were coming down the line that were happening where he didn't need to be the lead story every day.
Exactly.
Okay? He didn't need to be also on non-sports stations, whereas the Nolan Wells case should have been, even to the point where Crump mentioned that in his opening statement.
Exactly right.
At the NAACP conference. He said they were the local, the national press was more willing to talk about LeBron James than they were to give updates on the Nolan Wells case. Right. Now, that's not LeBron's fault. I'm not blaming LeBron for that. But what he's saying is it's more pleasant for them to talk about something like a LeBron James than talk about what's going on in Mississippi.
Right.
So to that extent, that's what I meant. But the fact that right now, as we tape, the president has politicized this. I never wanted to see it politicized. Right. I didn't need to hear him say, well, Michael Jordan and I play golf. And I'm sorry, Mike, I got to stop because I keep Michael in the frame every show that I do. But this is the one thing I've always liked about LeBron over Michael is LeBron takes a stand. You know, Jordan is like for the money. I mean, you know what I'm saying? To a certain extent, that's the thing that always bothered might be, that's the best word I can bring, can say, that, you know, Michael's statement was Republicans buy Jordans too. Right. You remember that? If you remember.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He was deep about that.
Yes.
But I hate to see this situation politicized by you know who. But
well, yeah, I think that's the same thing with the Jackson thing. Those guys are in it and they'll politicize anything they can. Trump, Jackson, the GOP, they'll politicize anything they can to make certain people look bad or to make themselves look good. Yeah. That's just where we are now in our society, and we just have to be very careful about that.
Yeah, I agree. But I do want to just say there are more people, and I'm just saying the people who are tired of the LeBron James narrative are not tired. We're not tired because we don't like LeBron.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I look, hey, I appreciate what he's done over the years and all on the court and off the court. But I do think when you're at a point where you've done it all, sometimes you have to pass the torch. I never said stop playing. He could continue to play. Right. But sometimes you just got to say, okay, let me go ahead and get this out of the way because, first of all, we've got summer league happening. A lot of these younger players are excelling. They need the shine.
Exactly.
Or the WNBA is going on right now.
Right.
They don't get enough shine. Let me make sure I get this out of the way so during the WNBA season, ESPN is giving the WNBA all the shine they need.
Exactly.
There's just more things to consider than my shine at this point. Right. He's gotten so much – he's got more shine than any other NBA player in history.
And deservedly so.
He's deserved it. So you want some more?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. I agree. It's time to start the torch to the handoffs. Yell stick so the next person can move on. And he held up the NBA because the NBA was trying to do their scheduling for the year, the television scheduling, kind of held that up because, of course, you know, they want to try to catch him in as many prime games as possible. So yeah, all that just was a mess for it, but it's over now. He's a Sixer, and the East has gotten really tough, you know.
All right, so let's talk sports for a minute.
5 minutes, okay.
Look, you and I look at the gray. We got the gray going on, okay? Brothers of a certain age. I watched the 76ers back in the day. What was there was Dr. J. Who else? Was
Cole Jones was on their team.
Mo Cheeks. Was Daryl Dawkins there too?
Daryl Dawkins was there for a minute. Yeah, he was there. Moses Malone played with him for a while.
But I'm talking about that one season when there were so many stars on that 76ers team that everybody, when they went into the regular season, it's a wrap.
Right.
And guess what happened?
Guess what?
Failure.
Failure.
Because ultimately, man, let's talk about it. It's ego. When you got these guys who have been superstars all their lives, and all of a sudden they got to again be second fiddle.
Right.
I'm telling you, even though he may not say it, what's his name? Jalen from Boston?
Brown, right? Jalen Brown?
Jalen Brown left Boston to lead.
Right. Local Atlanta kid.
But he didn't leave. Part of him leaving Boston was because he wanted a team of his own. He didn't want to be under Tatum.
Right.
He didn't want. I mean, am I right or wrong? If I'm wrong, just say it.
No, I think that's the feeling. I think that's exactly the feeling, and that was help precipitated the move to Philadelphia. But I think in Philadelphia, I think LeBron don't mind stepping back a little bit at this point because I think he did it last year with the Lakers.
We will see.
Because I don't think Maxey has a problem being.
No, I don't think Maxey
gonna get
will
his because he got the ball in his hands. He's going to get his. Yeah. I think the issue, if there is an issue, it may be with Embiid.
Oh, I know it's going to be with Embiid. I'm just telling you ahead of time so that I can get credit for saying it on my podcast.
That's where the issue might be.
Embiid is not going to be the one out front giving sound bites in honor of LeBron James. He is not going to be the one. It's his team. Yeah,
I agree. It's been his team for a long time. Even though Maxey is the guy there, and the other young guy.
But Maxey's young. Maxey's more like kind of free flowing. He's a funny guy. I'm gonna do what I got to do for the team. Man, these other dudes. I'm here to tell you, Embiid.
Yes.
He's going to be the Grinch that stole 76ers Christmas, bro.
But I'm hoping that
if he can stay healthy.
If he can stay healthy. Oh, that's the truth. If he can stay on the court. 82 games. If he gets 60 or 70 games in, that's a pretty good season for him. But what I'm hoping is that LeBron can light a fire on him and say, man, you can be so much better if you do these things.
Yeah.
I hope that happens, but I don't know. Health is always going to be an issue with Embiid, though. Got to stop eating them oxtails, brother.
Man, Hitman Howie, thank you, bro. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, if you agree or disagree with anything we say, man, go to Castropolis.net, hit the people poll. You can leave us a voicemail. You can say the N-word, but I'll catch you. I'll find you. I'll find you. I ain't going to encourage these fools.
No, don't do that.
But hey, man, thank you for taking the time. I'll come back. We'll come back with my review of the Shy series finale. Just happened, but of course, series finale is Sunday night. But you'll get my insight on the final season of the Shy and the series finale. We'll talk. I'll give you my review. All right. Thank you again, Howie.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Tommy B, and I'm putting you on official notice right now. Saturdays are officially locked down. We are taking you on a 12-hour, non-stop sonic journey. We're blending that high-energy, up-tempo R&B you love, smashing it into golden-era old-school hip-hop, and fusing it all together with the absolute hottest current R&B hits on the planet. Yes, it's the ultimate weekend cookout vibe, right through your speakers. No filler, no stops, just pure, unadulterated musical heat. You know what time it is. Reunion Saturday. Saturdays Tuesdays, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Velvet Frequency Radio at Castropolis.net. Turn it up!
What you watching this week, Tommy B?
First, let me say this. The series finale of The Chi was well done. And I'm not going to give any spoilers here, but I will say it was great to see familiar faces we hadn't seen in several seasons. I was also happy to see a few significant storylines finally get the closure they deserved. Now, I'm a black man who's consumed more than his fair share of TV and movies. I'll give just about anything that piques my interest a shot. And with streaming, there's no shortage of options. I started my Chi journey back in 2018, and to be honest with you, I have no regrets about that. Still, I'm glad it's done. Why? Because it's become far too divisive among its fan base, and that's sad to witness. With that said, I'm going to give you some good and bad, the breakdown of why the Chi either succeeded or failed. First, the good. We came to embrace the characters. Despite the turbulence surrounding the unfortunate dismissal of Jason Mitchell, Brandon, the show managed to build a real bond between the audience and the boys. Kevin, Papa, and Jake. We got to watch these characters go from boys to men over 8 seasons. That's rare in television. Also, the well-written and well-directed episodes helped the Chi stand apart from other black series. When it worked, we saw layers, even in characters who committed the worst indiscretions. It wasn't simply all gangsta all the time. The show exposed its characters' humanity through conflict and struggle. And that really mattered. And I'll give it credit for making a bold attempt to show diversity within the community, even in the face of a lot of pushback from critics who said it was forced or inauthentic. Now the bad. Black series and movies are important to our culture. One director put it perfect. Because there have been fewer high-profile shows available to us, black audience see themselves in these characters and hold the work to a higher standard of representation. As a critic, I make it a point to check who directed or wrote the episodes I either loved or hated. What I noticed was that many poorly written episodes were directed, and in some cases written, by unknowns with little to no experience in black television or film. When I brought this up, I was just going through a blog and I posted why this happens. I heard they got to start somewhere. Really? On a series positioning itself as a staple for the black community, you're handing the directing duties over to the intern? The Chi became a resume building farm for inexperienced directors and writers. In my opinion, at the expense of its dedicated and invested audience. Then there's the darkness. I always felt the beauty of the series was its ability to stream the light in dark times. There was always hope. But somewhere along the way, maybe in an effort to compete with the many gangster shows around it, the Chi turned relentlessly dark. In the final season, they literally presented the show with less light, through darker, filtered camera lenses. It almost reminded me, if you've ever seen Belly with Nas and DMX. And for many fans, it was kind of the final straw. And then there's what I call the boys. The coming-of-age core of the Chi disintegrated. The show started bringing in so many new characters, many of them familiar faces from older black sitcoms, that the central story of Kevin, Jake, and Papa began to die a slow death. To many fans, Kevin's departure marked a breaking point. Others became frustrated by the lack of development given to Jake and Papa in the later episodes. In a nutshell, I will say kudos to the Chi for being the longest running black drama in premium cable history and the second longest series on Showtime, second to Shameless. Unfortunately, as the saying goes, long life doesn't always mean a good life. I'm Tommy B, and that's what I'm watching this week. As always, y'all, I welcome your thoughts. Go to Castropolis.net, hit the people poll, and wherever you watch or listen, make sure you follow. Plus, turn on your notifications for any new episode. Every time something new comes down, it'll let you know. Big thanks to Vi, Tanya B, Talib Shabazz, Hitman Howie, Harold Michael Harvey, Lady J, G Podcast theme by Millennial Nick. Thank you, Text Chain crew. Thanks for accepting the weekly episode text. And with that, y'all, episode 321's in the can. Have a great week, y'all. Peace and power to the people.
You've been listening to This is the G Podcast. And This is the G Podcast is a production of the Castropolis Podcast Network. Thanks for listening.